Kids are pretty amazing. They absorb languages like talkative sponges, while I'm still struggling to nail down English. How do they do? Hey, you whippersnappers, Julian here for DNews. I'm just gonna come right out and say it. Kids are dumb. Most of them don't know the first thing about quantum mechanics or brain surgery, but my goodness do they pick things up quick. What is their secret? Well, you may be tempted to think it's because their brains are growing. I mean, you look at a kid's head and there's just not a lot of brain you can fit in there, so maybe children are generating more brain cells until they become adults. While that might be a small part of it, you were already born with oodles of noodles, though, around 100 billion, about as many brain cells as you're going to have for your whole life. You will add more to your olfactory bulb, prefrontal cortex, cerebellum, and hippocampus. By age 2, though, you only keep making new neurons in your hippocampus, the part of your brain associated with memory and learning. It's possible this neurogenesis is partly responsible for why kids pick up new things so fast. Still, the most significant thing about a child's brain development isn't the number of neurons, it's their organization. A baby is born with very few synapses connecting neurons, but by age 2 or 3, they'll have more than twice as many than they will have as an adult. This period is called exuberant synaptogenesis. Your brain will actually prune back the number of connections because it just doesn't need so many once you're a functioning adult and set in your ways. Before that, though, your brain wires get more tangled up than headphones in your pocket. Your brain as an adult becomes more efficient, with different parts of the brain being connected a long way apart. Children, on the other hand, use neurons that are more clustered together. This is why children are so creative. Their brains are experimenting with different configurations before settling on a structure. So, during these early stages when their brain is so plastic, children absorb everything. Language is a notable example. When a baby hears speech, the neurons in relevant parts of its brain form more synapses. The more they hear speech, the stronger those connections become. It's why their vocabulary quadruples in size between the ages of 1 and 2. I think it's also why they pick up foul language so well, too. You ever swear around a toddler and it's the only word they'll say for the rest of the day? But don't pardon their French, because at early ages, kids pick up new languages accent-free. There are multiple neural pathways, so their brains don't get locked into one pronunciation pattern. After their first year, though, babies lose the ability to distinguish the sounds of foreign languages. Don't get disheartened if you're an adult trying to learn a new language, though. You're still perfectly capable of doing it with time and effort. You're just going to have to accept that you're probably going to have an accent.
Science tells us that the experiences we have in the first years of our lives actually affect the physical architecture of the developing brain. This means that brains aren't just born, they're also built over time based on our experiences. Just as a house needs a sturdy foundation to support the walls and roof, a brain needs a good base to support all future development. Positive interactions between young children and their caregivers literally build the architecture of the developing brain. Building a sturdy foundation in the earliest years provides a good base for a lifetime of good mental function and better overall health. So just how is a solid brain foundation built and maintained in a developing child? One way is through what brain experts call serve and return interactions. Imagine a tennis match between a caregiver and a child, but instead of hitting a ball back and forth across a net, various forms of communication pass between the two, from eye contact to touch, from singing to simple games like peekaboo. These interactions, repeated throughout a young person's developing years, are the bricks that build a healthy foundation for all future development. But another kind of childhood experience shapes brain development too, and that's stress. Good kinds of stress, like meeting new people or studying for a test, are healthy for development because they prepare kids to cope with future challenges. Another kind of stress, called toxic stress, is bad for brain development. If a child is exposed to serious ongoing hardships like abuse and neglect, and he has no other caregiver in his life to provide support, the basic structures of his developing brain may be damaged. Without a sturdy foundation to properly support future development, he is at risk for a lifetime of health problems, development issues, even addiction. It's possible to fix some of the damage of toxic stress later on, but it's easier, more effective, and less expensive to build solid brain architecture in the first place. One of the things building sturdy brain architecture supports is the development of basic emotional and social skills, an important group of skills which scientists call executive function and self-regulation, can be thought of like air traffic control in the child's mental airspace. Think of a young child's brain as the control tower at a busy airport. All those planes landing and taking off, and all of the support systems on the ground simultaneously demand the controller's attention to avoid a crash. It's the same with a young child learning to pay attention, plan ahead, and remember and follow lots of rules. Like all of us, kids have to react to things happening in the world around them, while also dealing with worries, temptations, and obligations on their mind. As these demands for attention pile up, air traffic control helps a child regulate the flow of information, prioritize tasks, and above all, find ways to manage stress and avoid mental collisions along the way. Having this ability is a necessity for positive and level mental health.
Alright, Shalom. All praise to the Most High Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutation, brothers, hopefully like wishes, word of truth and sincerity. Alright, this video here is Be Ye As Little Children. Okay, so I was just thinking about just that particular phrase in the scriptures, be ye as little children. So today Yahushua stated, and I was just thinking about my children and also how my youngest, how quickly, just children in general, they pick up on things, how quickly that they learn. And just thinking about why Yahushua said to be ye as little children, or to basically go and be born again. So I put those opening, those little clips in the opening to just kind of give you an idea of how the child's brain develops and how those are very important parts of development before maturity and growth into adulthood, because it's the same thing and it's true. It's basically get that foundation, which is why you have to get that milk before you can eat the meat. Okay, and it's actually very important. Same thing with dealing with children and the building blocks or the foundational things that they must learn, for communication, for language, for interaction with people. All kind of different things goes into that. Same thing with this truth. You got to learn the milk in order to communicate properly. Learn the milk in order to understand how you need to maneuver through this life. Learn the milk in order to learn how to interact with people. Learn the milk in order, you have to learn those foundational things. Same thing within this truth. So I just want to catch a few scriptures on that. This is John chapter 3, verse 1. It says, there was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews. The same came to Yahushua by night and said unto him, Rabbi, we know that thou art a teacher come from the Most High, for no man can do these miracles that thou doest except the Most High be with him. Yahushua answered and said unto him, verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of the Most High. Okay, so you have to be born again. You have to become as a little child. Okay, you have to put off the ways, or put off what you think you know here, or what you think you've learned, and be retaught the right ways. Okay, Nicodemus saith unto him, how can a man be born when he is old? Can he enter the second time into his mother's womb and be born? Question mark. Okay. So think about it. Yahushua was saying being born again. He was coming with something that he never heard before. So he was thinking in a literal sense, going back into your mother's womb and being born into the earth once again. Yahushua answered, verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born of water and of the Spirit, he cannot enter into the kingdom of the Most High. And that's just truth. Okay, that's what that water and that Spirit is. All right. That which is born of the flesh is flesh, and that which is born of the Spirit is spirit. Marvel not that I said unto thee, ye must be born again. We and brother were enlisted and thou hearest the sound thereof, but canst not tell whence it cometh and whither it goeth. So is everyone that is born of the Spirit. All right. So the Spirit is gonna know how to flow, basically. Okay. If you're born of the Spirit, okay, you're gonna know how to flow and maneuver in life. Okay. You're not going to hit walls. You're gonna hit a wall and be stagnant and stay there. Because think about when the wind blows. When the wind blows and it comes to a wall, what does it do? That wind actually ends up going around. It goes into a different direction. Okay, it moves. It constantly flows. Same thing with dealing with the Spirit. Okay, and that's how you have to be. And when you think about it, that's how children are. All right, for give you an example. For if I'm raising my son, and so if he models after what he sees, he learns what's right and what's wrong, or what we deem as what's right and what's wrong. Now, if we were to drop him off and take him to another household to be raised by, I'll just say someone in the world, what you think he would do? He would adapt. He would flow like the Spirit. He would flow like the wind, meaning that if what he's used to doing is deemed as being wrong, then he would change it. Okay, he would literally flow like the wind and do what is asked of him in that other household that he's in. Same thing. All right. All right, this is Matthew chapter 18, verse 1. At the same time came the disciples unto Yahushua, saying, Who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? And Yahushua called a little child unto him, and set him in the midst of them, and said, Verily I say unto you, except ye be converted, okay, and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Whosoever therefore, and see, here's the point. This is why he says that. Whosoever therefore shall humble himself, all right, you humble yourself, you be made low, no pride, not be puffed up, okay, as this little child, the same is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. And whoso shall receive one such little child in my name receiveth me. But whoso shall offend one of these little ones, which are one of the ones that he selected, that he's chosen out of the world, which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he were drowned in the depth of the sea. All right. But look how it says, whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Okay, you put off the things that you know. Like, think about this. Think about if you're older. If you're older man coming into this truth, okay, and you have your ways that that you grew up. You're older, and when you come into this truth, you're a babe. You don't know anything. You're still learning, and you come up under a younger man. Someone 25, 26, early 30s, mid 30s, and you have a man that's just coming into his truth in his 40s. You know what I'm saying? You literally have to humble yourself, even if you're older than the apostles. Okay, you have to humble yourself because you don't know, and that's what little children do. They don't know. Little children literally have an open mind, and I'm not telling you to have an open mind for anything in the world, but open mind to accept this truth. Okay, but little children literally have an open mind to be taught what they need to be taught. Okay, and they're looking to learn. All right, this is Matthew chapter 19, verse 13. It says, Then were there brought unto him little children, talking about Yahushua, that he should put his hands on them and pray. And the disciples rebuked them. But Yahushua said, suffer the little children and forbid them not to come unto me, for of such is the kingdom of heaven. And it's a spiritual thing. Okay? It don't mean that every single little child, that's born into the world will be, will make it, on this first go round on the chariots. What it means is to become as a little child, to humble yourself, to bring yourself low, to understand that you don't know it all. As a matter of fact, you don't know anything coming into this truth. What you thought you knew in the world as was right and wrong is literally wrong. Okay? And that's what it's talking about. That's why Yahushua says, suffer not the little children. Okay? Or suffer the little children and forbid them not. And it's the same thing with the brothers and sisters that's coming in, as little children. Don't suffer them. Okay? Don't forbid them. Don't shut up the kingdom unto them. Okay? And I'm gonna be honest with you, you're gonna stumble and fall, You're gonna get some things wrong. You're gonna trip up, But I'll say this: in these times that we're in now, you got to work on that. You know what I'm saying? Meaning that you can't constantly be stumbling at the same thing over and over. You know what I'm saying? But it's something you got to work on. Let's see. There's one more I wanted to get. It's Hebrews, the 5th chapter. Yep, that's it. This is Hebrews chapter 5, verse 12. It says, for the time ye ought to be teachers, meaning you are aged up, you're older, ye have need that one teach you again. Okay? Meaning you need to be retaught. Which be the first principles of the oracles of the Most High. Okay, we need to be taught the old paths. As for the old paths, as for the old ways, those first principles, those of the oracles. Okay, we need to be taught those things because those things are right. Those things are the righteousness that lead to everlasting life, and are become such as have need of milk and not of strong meat. Okay, when you first come into this truth, we can't go into you don't just spring something on, spring these deep meat things on someone, such as reincarnation or even that Yahushua, had an earthly mother. Her earthly mother and father, that Joseph did in fact have sex with Mary and impregnated Mary. Those little deeper things. You don't go into that. Like they still learning that, hey, you are an Israelite. That these curses are upon your people for things that we done, and then going just those basics. Even the dietary law, basic things. Okay, if they're struggling with basic things, you can't go into those meats. Going into Revelation, the book of Daniel. Okay, 2nd Ezra 11. Those type of things. Okay. For everyone that uses milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness. It's why when you get that milk, you need to be taking in as much as you can. Okay? Because you got to be built up. For he is a babe. Okay? But strong meat belongeth to them that are of full age, even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil. And see, this is why I suggest always getting righteous counsel, from older Akim, because when you're going through different things in life and you don't have the answers to it, or you don't know, different things, or you even with dealing with the scriptures, if you talk to someone who actually have more time in this truth, they can kind of let you know, oh, hey, I've been through that, or this would, this would be the best route in this situation. You always have righteous counsel, okay? Because they can exercise, they have their senses, those that are strong in meat, okay? Our apostles are strong in meat and are full age. Even though, yes, they still learn, okay? Because if you're in this truth, you're still going to constantly learn. But they are of full age, and they have their strong meat, and they can discern between good and evil. Okay, they have their senses, that spiritual eye, and that's thus if you taking it drinking this milk, okay, you don't have that strong of a sense, that strong of a spiritual eye, because you're still learning. Okay, same thing with babies. You can't expect babies to know, or to see, how we tend to try to see things before they happen. Okay, you can't expect a 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 3-year-old, even 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old. You can't expect them to look at different situations and think about, hey, if I do this, then this will be the outcome. And when I say that, I mean like as far as like when it comes to dealing with interactions. If I do this to someone, then this will be their response to it, and I need to make sure that, hey, I don't do this because I don't want this type of response. Like the critical thinking, using your senses. Those are things that you use when you have meat. Okay, but when you're still on that milk, you don't really have that. All right, but like I said, I just wanted to just bring that out because I was just thinking about this. Be ye as little children, being born again. Basically, literally being a babe, drinking on the milk. And it's true. You literally, because think about it, as a baby, they drink the milk, or they eat the milk, then they go to sleep. Like as a baby, but like an infant. Okay, they eat the milk, go to sleep. Wake up, cry, eat the milk, go to sleep. Wake up, cry, eat the milk, go to sleep. And that's actually, when you think about it, well, I know when I first came in this truth, and I know a lot of other brothers can probably speak this and say the same thing too. When you first come into this thing, you literally eat, sleep, and breathe this truth. You eat, sleep, and breathe the scriptures, meaning that all you want to do is read. All you want to do is listen to videos. All you want to do is read and listen to videos. Read, watch video. Read, watch video. That's like, because I know that was my whole day in there all day. I was up at night listening to videos, up all day and night, even at work, reading. It's you just getting all into it. That's all you're doing. And then once you get to a certain level, it kind of balances off, and you can add other things into your life, different. You take a little break. When I say take a break, I don't mean like just put it down, but I mean do other things. Okay, you have that balance. All right, but as a child, the same thing. All they do is drink milk. But as they grow, they learn how to play. They learn how to develop. They learn how to communicate. They learn how to insert other things besides eat, sleep, and poo. Okay, but yeah, but this, like, once again, this is just my thoughts on that. So hope you edified whoever was for call. All you, how about your mouth, Shalom.